Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And on tonight's episode, we're going to be doing something a little bit different from what you guys have been accustomed to. We are going to be working on our brewing skill on this level, on this video. I'm going to show you guys how to go from level 1 to all the way up to 135. The next episode will go, past that all the way up to 200. But we're over in Freeport again. If you're not playing a good race and you're just not allowed to come over here into Freeport, you're going to have to find a different place to do this, but the concept is the same. You should be able to do it fairly easy depending on where the NPCs are that you need to buy the stuff from. This one, however, is right here off to the left. As you go up the ramp, you're going to be able to buy a lot of the stuff you need. Not everything, but a lot of the stuff you're going to need from this NPC right here. Now, if you open it up, you can see the inventory that she has. You're going to want to start making short beer. Short beer is going to get you level 1 to level 31. And that's pretty easy to make. All you need is barley. She has it right here at the very top. We'll buy, 1 stack of that. We're also going to need hops. Hops are a little further down right here. You're going to go ahead and buy 1 stack of that. And then you're going to need malt as well. So we'll go ahead and buy 1 stack of that. I'm going to come back to this NPC each time we come back to a new recipe because there are other things that you're going to need. You're also going to need a cask, and you're going to need 1 for every single one of the recipes. Now, she has them here, but we're not going to buy them here because, in fact, I'll just go ahead and buy one. You can see they don't stack. Actually, let's load up our inventory here. They do not stack. My stuff is in a weird order because I've been doing this for a little while. But yeah, these things, unfortunately, you can only carry 1 in each one of the spaces. And that's just going to, clog up your inventory. So I would not buy them there. Plus, you're actually going to need to go to an object in the game so that you can brew stuff. You're going to want to go to where there's a hotel or, that kind of building, the town, hotel or the town bar usually has this thing inside of it somewhere. But for us, we're going to go over to North Freeport. North Freeport has an NPC over here that sells casks right next to the object that we're going to be making this stuff in. And so it's actually pretty close to the bank as well. So you can go ahead and bank over there and buy new items or get a couple more platinum out of the bank or something like that if you happen to run low. Doesn't really cost that much. I started with, I think, 115, 116 plat, and I'm down to, I think, 111. And I've gotten up 130-something levels. So if you sell back the stuff that you're making, you don't go through it very quickly. You're not going to be spending too much money. So this is the bar right here if you guys want me to come back out and slow it down a little bit. The bank is right down that way. And this is the building you want to go into, is the tavern. So definitely head on in here, take a left, go through the door. This is the object that you're looking for right here, guys. Let me go ahead and close that up so you guys don't have to see the guild chat and things of that sort. This is the object you're looking for. If you just go ahead and left click on it, you'll see it's the brew barrel will pop up here. The person you're looking for is this NPC right here. She sells the barrels, or not the barrels, the cask. She also sells bottles, and bottles is something you're going to be using for a later recipe. As I said, we're going to go back and forth as I show you each and every recipe. So let's go ahead and buy a few of these. When you make the item, it's going to get used in that. So you're going to lose the cask, which means you might have to, I shouldn't say might, you're going to have to go back several times and buy more cask as you progress on level. And that's why it's nice to have this NPC really close by so that you can do that fairly easy. Now, I like to do it kind of like this. I'll show you my setup so that you guys can go a little quicker. And of course, you want to hold down the control button and just drag them in here really quick. Drop the cask in and hit the combine button. And you end up getting a short beer right here, guys. Weighs 0.4 pounds. And this will get you all the way up to, level 31. And then you want to keep doing that. And we're going to go through and complete 1 whole stack of this. Maybe not 1 whole stack. I'll do like 10. Because the next item uses a little bit of the same recipe, and the item after that uses a little bit of the same recipe on that one. So we'll get rid of all of our barrels, and then we'll go ahead and go on to the next one. And as you can see, when you fail, I haven't failed yet because this is trivial to me at the moment, but when you fail, you will get the cask back. You'll lose the other ingredients, the hops and the malt and all that other stuff, but you actually get the cask, and then you can put that right back in and go about it all over again, which is pretty cool. Now, if you wanted to, you're more than welcome to sell this beer. That's what I usually do with it. when I'm done with it. And you get 1 silver, 4 copper for each one. So you can kind of figure out if you're making each one of these things and how much the other stuff cost, whether you're going to make your money back or not. Not really, because if you look at it, the barley is 1 silver if I sold it for 1 silver, 4 copper, 1 silver, 4 copper, 1 silver, 4 copper. And you're only getting 1 silver, 4 copper out of the NPC for each and every one of these. And even if you succeed, it takes 3 of these items plus a cask. So you're losing money on that transaction. But, it's not too bad, to be honest. Like I said, guys, it's pretty quick. Now, if you want to go ahead and do your next skill, you can either, do the heady colas. I didn't like doing that one. I went with short ale. Short ale, again, requires a cask at 51. It goes up to the skill 51, I should say. And short ale will require everything that we already have. In fact, you can go back to that first NPC we talked to and get barley and hops, and then a water flask. You need that for the recipe. Now, this NPC right here actually sells the water that you need. It's this water right here. Go ahead and buy a stack. I have plenty on me, so I don't need to do that. But you are going to need a few more of these casks right here. So we're going to go ahead and buy, let's say, 4 more, so I can show you this recipe real quick. Run back up here to the little thing, turn it up, or turn it on, open it up, however you want to say that. Let's move these things over so they're a little bit easier to get to. Let's get rid of this malt over here. We'll put some water in here. There we go. And now we're just going to put 1 of each in here along with the water. Hit combined, and now we got a new object right there. And this is short ale. Again, probably not efficient in making money unless, of course, you're selling this to another player. I figure what I'll do with it, beyond just wanting to have my skill maxed out, is when we do our giveaways, I will be giving away alcohol as well as food, because I've been working on the food skill as well. So you guys can look forward to getting a little bit of these spirits from me during those giveaways. So once you're done with that, again, you want to do that skill until you go all the way up to 51. Doesn't take too long to do that, to be honest, guys. You're not, again, it depends on how high your intelligence or wisdom is, but it took me about 30 minutes for each one of those tiers from level 1 to 31. Took me about 30 minutes, and from level 31 to level 51 took me about 30 minutes. This is the next part that's a little tricky. Fish wine is the one I would suggest going to. It will get you up to 62. Fish wine is water flask, and she sells the water flask as we just talked about. It also needs grape and fresh fish. So we're going to go show you where to get the fresh fish, because the grapes is at one of the NPCs we've already talked to, the very first one that I showed you. And that one's pretty easy to get to. You can buy all the grapes you want. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to buy a stack of grapes just so that we have them on us. And then I'm going to show you how to get to the fish, which is actually over next to the docks in Freeport. So it's a bit of a run. Depending on how much space you have and how long you plan to do this, and again, how high your intelligence or wisdom is, you may decide to buy a whole bunch of them so you don't have to run back very often. I think I bought like 7 stacks, thinking the exact same thing. Oh, I don't want to run back over there because it's a long, long run. And I ended up only using about 4 of them before I maxed it out. Because remember, you're only going from 51 to 62. Not a big jump. It's not like the beginning stages where you're going from 1 to 31 or 31 to 51. That's a little bit bigger jump. And as you get higher and higher in level, it takes a little bit longer to level them up as well. So if you scroll down, you'll see the grapes right there. We'll go ahead and buy 1 stack, and then we are going to run this way. Now there might be easier ways to get to the docks that will shave off a little bit of your time, but I'm going this route because this is the route that I'm familiar with in Freeport. This is the route that I took when I did my my cooking skill, because your cooking stuff is just right down here as well. If you guys are interested in that, you're more than welcome to go back and watch those earlier episodes. I did a 3-parter, I think, on that one, where I showed each part of the cooking skill from one tier to the next tier to the next. And I kind of wanted to do the same thing with this one, but as I was doing it, I was talking to friends and we were kind of ending the night, and I didn't want to get off the Skype call, so I was just doing this stuff in the background, and I managed to get all the way up, like I said, to about 135 in my skill before I was like, okay, now I have a minute to go ahead and record. And I kept remembering, okay, I need to show this, I need to go back and do this. So it was a good night. It was fun, and if you can, have somebody that you can talk with, especially if you don't have to stop and actually type anything out. If you're on a call or you're sitting there watching a TV show, that's the way I would suggest doing this because, yeah, like I said, the first few 50 or 60 skill points you get in this go by pretty quick. But then after that, it slows down dramatically. And that's with me having a really high skill level in wisdom. I'm at 200 right now for my cleric. So with that being said, after the fish one, after I got from up to 62, going from 62 to 135 went really slow. And there's a reason behind that, which I'll get into. But before we get there, I don't want to get too far ahead because we still need to buy the fish, which is right up here. We want to talk to this guy. And you can see right here he has the fresh fish. So you can go ahead and buy as many stacks as you think you're going to need. I'm only going to buy one because, like I said, we've already maxed this recipe out. There might even be somewhere in here you can go ahead and do your brewing as well. I don't think there is, but there could be. So if you want to shave off a little bit of time, you want to do it over here instead of back over near the bank, you're more than welcome to do that as well. But I'm going with the places that I'm familiar with. And as long as I can keep the other NPC, to be honest, this one right here where the fish is, that's the only recipe that I've used from level 1 to 135 that I've needed to come to talk to him. So he is like a one-shotter where you don't really need to see him very often. However, the girl who sells the grapes and the hops and the barley and all that other stuff right there next to the entrance to Freeport, her, on the other hand, I have traveled back numerous times to talk to her to buy another, 6, 7, 8 stacks of barley or wheat, because those are items that you use in pretty much all the recipes that I'm showing you tonight. So, yeah, you're going to want to stay close to her. And also being close to the bank is something that I like because you just never know when you're going to need a little bit extra cash, or when I get tired of carrying all of the weight that I had on me and I was like, oh, the bank is just right there. Let me go drop some stuff off in the bank and clear up a few more backpack slots so that I can do this a little bit easier, so I don't have to go back, as often. If I can buy 10 stacks of barley and 10 stacks of, what's that other stuff? The hops and the malt, then I don't have to zone as much. And zoning is really not that slow. If you guys watch the screen, it's pretty quick, but it's just leaving that, that rhythm that you get going, and you really don't want to do that if you don't have to. So that's, why I was going to the bank every so often. And it's just nice. It's your friends pass by here all the time because it's the bank. People are always doing stuff over here. So I think it's just in a good area. And I like this area a little bit more than any of the other ones. But yeah, we're going to be doing, the fish wine. And the fish wine is water flask, grapes, fresh fish, and then a bottle. And that will get you up to 62. Pretty easy. Doesn't cost a lot. As you guys can see, the ingredients are pretty cheap. Pretty cheap in the sense that if you have a few 100 platinum in your bank, you're not going to really feel the burn on this one. If you're just starting the game and you're, trying to, scramble up enough copper to be able to buy your level spells, then yeah, this is, it's going to cost you more than you have. But once you get to a certain point in the game, you start getting, 6, 7 gold off of each one of your enemies. This goes by a lot quicker. So we're going to come in here, we're going to talk to her, and we're going to go ahead and buy 1 stack of bottles. And that's what I said, the stack. These actually will stack on top of each other. So nice. So you don't have to go back to the NPC every couple of seconds and, buy more of them. So that really is kind of a nice little addition right there. So we need grapes, we need water, and we need fish, as well as our bottles. So let's go ahead and move those over. And then all you got to do is hold the control button down, drag each and every one of these things over, hit the combine button, and now you get your fish wine, and you get 3 per creation. So that's kind of nice. I don't remember how much they sell for. We'll check here. We'll make a few more so that you guys can see. It doesn't really matter in what order you guys throw it in, what slots you throw it in. Doesn't have to be anywhere near each other. Just as long as you're putting in 1 item only, not 2, not a stack. And, the cool thing about it is if you put in, say, the wrong bottle and you put in everything else that's supposed to be in here, and you can see I actually put in the fish wine. If I hit combine, it won't do anything. That's not the right recipe. Well, what if I take that out and throw in an extra fish? combine. It doesn't do anything. It needs to be the right recipe for it to work. That's very, very nice. This game is usually not that forgiving. You throw something in there that you're not supposed to and say give to an NPC, that's it. It's gone forever. You're never getting that the item back unless maybe one of the GMs wants to be kind enough to you and give it to you. But beyond that, it's just gone. So now that you have done that and you've gotten up to level 62, now what do? Well, you want to go ahead and sell your wine if you're not going to drink it or you're not going to give it away. That's 1 silver, 9 copper for each one of those, which again isn't that bad. Then you're going to, let's see, what are you going to do after fish wine? Oh, this one is the Fierce Brew. Fierce Brew actually isn't the best thing you can do. Gnomish Spirits is, but you require spider legs for that, and that requires going out and hunting for them. And if you just want to buy the stuff to level up, you're going to use a little bit more money because it's going to go from 62 to 135, and yeah, that's a huge gap, but a little bit easier to do. You're going to need barley, hops, yeast, and malt. And let me run back so I can show you where to buy the yeast, which is from the NPC right here where we went earlier. Again, I told you we're going to be running back and forth, because this is more of a tutorial video than a video of me leveling up. That, like I said, from level 62 to 135, I think that took about 2 hours of me just kind of sitting there. Like I said, it went a lot faster because I was talking to a friend. But yeah, I think it was about 2 hours to do that. So not very much money though. So you don't really have to worry about that. It's just the time you have to put into it. And of course you have to keep coming back, I think is what took the longest. If I had cleared out all my inventory and just put nothing but boxes in here or crates of the items that I needed, these Deluxe toolboxes are amazing. They have an extra 2 slots on each one of them. So that would definitely help you out if you have an inventory full of that. Buy everything that you could possibly want for all of these recipes. So you don't even have to keep coming back to her as you level up. Just buy the stuff you need, and then when you bypass those skills, go ahead and sell off the extra stuff. That would save you a lot of time as well. But we're going to come in here and we're going to go ahead and buy the yeast, which is all the way down at the very bottom. And I believe, let me check my inventory here. I believe I already have it. Yep, so we already have a stack of 20 yeast, which is all we need right there. And so we're going to go ahead and run back to the thing. I just wanted to show you where it was at, because some of you may be like, yeah, you say it's there, and then when I go there, it's not there. Well, it's here now. So unless they change something down the road, which is always a possibility, it should be here for you. This recipe, like I said before, going to take you about 2 hours. Buy as many of the items for this recipe as possible, because you're going to be doing it over and over and over again. Of course, it does require a cask, which means you're going to need to leave some space on you to be able to buy those in the shop and then use them. So you're going to want at least 1 backpack full or 1 crate, whatever you're using in your inventory, to have that area. And then, of course, you need a little bit of area for the items that you're making to be put in until you can go back and sell them. So you need that 1 or 2 spots, because I think this one makes 2 at a time. So if you buy, 8 or 9 stacks, of these things right here, you're going to be making quite a few items out of it. So let's go ahead and make some of this stuff real quick. And the recipe is pretty simple, guys. Let's open it all up right there so we can see. We'll move these over. I kind of like to put the crates the way I have it set up, like this on this side, and then I'll put the recipe over here on the side like this. And where are the hops? There you go, like that. And so I have the 4 ingredients I need right here, and the actual device or whatever that's going to be stored in over here, whether it's bottles or things of that sort. But again, it just comes down to preference. So you're going to need 1 of your Baileys, you're going to need 1 of your hops, you're going to need 1 of your malt, and 1 of your yeast, as well as 1 cask. Go ahead and throw that in there. 5 items all together, doesn't matter what order you put it into, and hit the combine button. And you're going to go ahead and get this item right here, which is the Fierce Brew, and it's 2 every single time. As you guys can see, we'll go through a few more to show you again that it doesn't really matter what order you put it into. You're going to go ahead and get that. And if I fail, like I said before, you will get the cask back, but you'll lose all the other ingredients. I don't really fail at this anymore. This is, pretty set. It does fail occasionally because I'm not at the point where it's trivial. And as you can see right now, I'm at 120, not 135. You're going to take this up to 135 before you move on to the next one. And that's where the next video is going to come into play, when we start getting to that point and I go through do the stuff you need to get on that one. But guys, hopefully you found this video, informative, that it helped you out if you wanted to try to, start doing your skill in this as well, to show you that it's actually really, really easy. The ingredients are very easy to find, although if you don't know where they're at, like I didn't when I first started this, I ran around the city for about 2 hours looking for these people, finding out where they were at, and I wanted to save you guys the trouble of doing that, because it's a real pain in the butt to have to go looking around the city for the little items that you need here. So again, I want to thank you all for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more like this in the future. As I said before, the next episode will probably be from 135 to 188 or 200, depending on which one of those I decide to go up to. That's going to take, holy crap, a lot more hours, I think, before I get to that point, but hopefully not too much money. As I said before, it really hasn't costed me that much, and I'm hoping it stays with that tradition, but we'll see here pretty soon. Again, guys, till next time.